Top 5 underground locations that are portals to hell. Deep beneath our feet, where sunlight never touches stone and the weight of earth presses down like the lid of a coffin, there exist places that should never have been disturbed. These are the wounds in reality's flesh. Underground locations where the barrier between our world and something far more sinister has worn dangerously thin. For millennia, cultures across the globe have understood that hell lies below. Not metaphorically, but literally. In the deep places where ancient evils sleep, where the screams of the damned echo through stone corridors, where temperatures rise not from geothermal activity, but from the fires of eternal punishment bleeding through dimensional cracks. These aren't tourist destinations or historical curiosities. These are active gateways where something hungry and patient waits in the darkness, sending its influence upward like poisonous gas seeping through cracks in the foundation of reality. What you're about to hear are 5 documented cases of underground locations where explorers, workers, and investigators encountered evidence that hell is real, accessible, and actively trying to expand its territory into our world. Each location shares common characteristics: temperatures that defy geological explanation, voices speaking in languages that predate human civilization, and the presence of entities that view human flesh and souls as nothing more than raw materials for their infernal purposes. If you love what we do here, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe. It helps us summon more stories from the shadows every single night. Number 5. The Centralia Mine, Pennsylvania's Burning Gateway. Mine Safety Inspector Robert Chen was among the last people to document the true nature of Centralia's underground fires before the site was officially sealed and classified. His final report revealed that the mine's problems began long before the supposed trash fire that sparked the coal seams. In May 1961, miners working the deepest sections began reporting temperatures exceeding 200 degrees Fahrenheit despite adequate ventilation. More disturbing were voices coming from unexplored tunnels, human screams in ancient Aramaic and Latin, phrases associated with medieval descriptions of damnation. Foreman Michael Kowalski documented miners hearing their own names called from darkness beyond their headlamps. Investigation revealed tunnel sections extending far deeper than any official excavation, carved through solid rock with impossible precision. The breaking point came when miner Thomas Murphy was found unconscious behind a sealed steel barrier, lying in a freshly dug pit 50 feet below the tunnel floor. His body temperature was 103 degrees, and he spoke continuously in languages he'd never learned. "The fire calls me down," Murphy repeated in perfect Latin. "The burning ones want me to join their choir. They sing the songs of punishment that never end." Murphy's account described descending through natural caves into vast chambers filled with fire, populated by humanoid figures systematically torturing naked humans. The victims included missing Centralia residents dating back over a century. Chen's investigation revealed mining records from the 1850s showing consistent reports of excessive heat, tunnel collapses, and worker disappearances. Native American tribes had known the area as the place where the earth bleeds fire, and warned that digging too deeply would release the hunger that burns beneath. The official coal seam fire began in 1962 simultaneously in 17 locations, too many for a single ignition source. The burning areas corresponded exactly to where mining had broken through into pre-existing cave systems. Chen's final report included audio recordings of underground voices, photographs of impossibly carved tunnels, and temperature measurements violating thermodynamics. His recommendations included permanent sealing and continuous monitoring for portal expansion. Chen disappeared in 1993 during follow-up research. His vehicle was found near sealed entrances, his equipment showing 500-degree readings despite winter conditions. His notes contained tunnel maps leading to chambers he described as processing facilities for human transformation. Current satellite monitoring shows Centralia fires expanding in precisely controlled geometric patterns, growing exactly 13 feet per year despite chaotic coal combustion. The mathematical precision cannot be explained by natural phenomena. Number 4. The London Underground's Lost Platform. Queue for the Damned. Transport for London maintenance worker David Thornfield accessed Platform 0 through service tunnels in February 2022, following electrical routing to areas that didn't exist on official maps. What he found was a complete Victorian-era platform with medieval architectural elements that predated the underground system by centuries. Platform Zero required enormous power loads despite being sealed for decades. Fresh wear patterns on stone benches and scratched pleas for help in multiple languages indicated recent use. Most disturbing was evidence the platform served as a collection point for London's underground fatalities. As Thornfield worked, he heard approaching train sounds despite no scheduled service. Control confirmed no trains had run there for 80 years. The sounds included passenger voices, children crying, adults arguing, and mechanical humming from impossible train systems. The train that emerged was 400 feet long, consisting of vintage cars from different eras. Through windows, Thornfield saw hundreds of passengers, many clearly deceased with gray skin and sunken eyes, representing different time periods from Victorian workers to contemporary commuters. A recording announced, "Platform Zero, King's Cross Station. Alight here for final processing and eternal travel arrangements. This service terminates here." Living passengers exited mechanically, taking seats on stone benches. They were recent underground fatalities: electrocution victims, collision casualties, falls, medical episodes. Meanwhile, decomposing long-dead passengers walked toward tunnel depths that absorbed all light. A 1940s conductor with a partially destroyed face approached Thornfield. "We collect passengers who die on the underground for final processing. These today died in various incidents throughout the network. They're processed here, then continue to permanent assignments." The conductor explained the operation's scope. "We maintain rolling stock across different equipment eras, collecting from incident sites throughout the entire network." Thornfield realized several recent passengers matched missing person reports, people who had disappeared without explanation in underground tunnels. "You're not scheduled for today's service," the conductor noted, consulting a clipboard of human skin. "But operational security is now compromised." Thornfield escaped, but official records showed no maintenance assignments to Platform Zero and no employee named David Thornfield. Medical examination revealed severe electromagnetic radiation exposure and hypothermia symptoms despite heated working areas. Platform Zero continues operating. Maintenance workers receive union protection for refusing assignments to unmapped areas, while hundreds of documented underground disappearances show consistent patterns suggesting systematic collection rather than random incidents. Number 3. Mammoth Cave. Research incident, Kentucky's deepest secret. Dr. Sarah Martinez led a National Park Service expedition into newly discovered Mammoth Cave sections in August 2022, reaching depths exceeding 800 feet. The limestone formations showed artificial characteristics: smooth carved walls and chambers with perfect acoustics. Temperature measurements violated geological principles, reaching 95 degrees at 900 feet depth instead of the expected constant 54 degrees. The team discovered artificial lighting in sealed passages, torch sconces with evidence of recent burning, despite being blocked by ancient rock formations. Graduate student Amanda Foster documented extensive wall carvings in multiple languages spanning centuries. The most frequent message in dozens of languages: "The descent continues forever," and "No return from the deepest chambers." Dates spanned 200 years with consistent references to feeding the fire below. Environmental monitoring detected volcanic-associated gases impossible in limestone systems. Atmospheric analysis revealed sulfur compounds suggesting industrial activity, despite Kentucky's stable geology. The team heard human voices in organized patterns, machinery operating, and systematic screaming from deeper passages. Recordings captured Latin and English discussions about processing requirements and quota fulfillment for soul extraction. Cave photographer James Chen documented architectural features impossible as natural formations: carved furniture, drainage systems, and rock-carved industrial equipment. Numerous human remains were arranged systematically throughout chambers, showing evidence of deliberate torture and permanent shackles to stone fixtures. Geological surveys revealed cave systems extending over 2,000 feet below surface level, forming geometric patterns too precise for natural formation. Sonar mapping indicated vast chamber networks and mathematically perfect arrangements. Amanda Foster disappeared during sample collection. Her equipment was found in a perfect circle around a previously unnoticed shaft. Descending 300 feet, they found her carving symbols with bare hands into hard limestone, her eyes completely black, speaking only Latin. The work below requires completion. The fire needs feeding. Foster displayed superhuman strength and impossible cave navigation abilities, as if perfectly adapted to underground environments. When rescue teams investigated, they found no evidence of the expedition's discoveries. Chambers, markings, and architectural features had vanished as if the cave had reformed itself. Foster was never found, but rangers report sightings of a woman walking alone in prohibited deep sections, immune to cold and darkness. Dr. Martinez left cave research but dreams of Foster's voice describing endless underground industrial operations, processing human souls. Number 2. The Moscow Metro's Line 13, Red Square to Red Hell. Metro engineer Viktor Petrov received emergency orders in October 2022 to restore power to Line 13, a Stalin-era experimental route never opened to public service. The line descended over 300 feet below surface level, requiring authorization from both Metro Authority and Federal Security Service. Accessed through Lubyanka Station blast doors, Line 13 featured purely functional architecture with Russian and Latin signage indicating experimental service to deep installations. Despite official abandonment, enormous power loads suggested active operations comparable to military installations. Petrov discovered tunnels extending far beyond documented termination points, connecting to vast complexes not shown on any maps. Despite being sealed for decades, platform areas showed heavy foot traffic wear and recent mechanical maintenance. Train operation sounds included multiple simultaneous services with announcements describing impossible destinations. Processing Center Alpha. Passengers for soul evaluation and reassignment must exit here. Connecting service to punishment facilities available on Platform B. Control confirmed no trains were authorized for Line 13, which had never operated any service and contained no equipment since 1950s decommissioning. Petrov found platforms not in engineering documentation, actively lit with evidence of recent use. Platform markings included names, dates, and messages from passengers referencing processing and work details in lower levels. Personal belongings suggested people were loaded onto trains without possessions. The 800-foot train that arrived consisted of unmarked cargo cars carrying hundreds of unconscious restrained humans, arranged as cargo rather than passengers. Russian announcements directed, "Final processing station. All passengers disembark for evaluation and assignment procedures." Uniformed personnel in unidentifiable Soviet-style insignia unloaded unconscious passengers matching recent missing person reports from Moscow area. Passengers were organized by age and condition, tagged with numbers rather than names. A burned-faced military officer explained, Line 13 transported human resources for deep industrial operations, selected citizens for permanent labor assignments to construction projects serving state security. The work required total commitment. Petrov realized he was witnessing systematic transportation to forced labor camps hidden beneath Moscow. The officer's references to permanent assignment suggested something beyond traditional prison labor. Petrov attempted escape, but the officer followed casually. All citizens eventually contribute to these operations. You can volunteer now or be collected later. Official records showed no Line 13 assignments and no employee named Viktor Petrov. Medical examination revealed severe radiation poisoning despite no known radioactive materials. Access to Line 13 was permanently blocked with no record of Petrov's credentials. Petrov was disappeared 3 weeks later. Independent investigation revealed hundreds of annual Moscow disappearances, showing systematic rather than random patterns. Satellite thermal imaging shows underground heat signatures, suggesting vast industrial operations forming geometric processing facility patterns beneath the city. Number 1. Operation Deep Dig, the Pentagon's deepest mistake. Dr. James Harrison, geological engineer with top-secret Defense Department clearance, was assigned to Operation Deep Dig in June 2023, a black budget project creating secure storage 2,000 feet below the Pentagon's foundation. Accessing Deep Dig required transportation through unmapped Pentagon areas to a complete underground complex 400 feet below foundation level, equipped with offices, laboratories, and industrial equipment suggesting permanent operations. Geological assessment revealed excavation far beyond briefing depths, reaching 3,000 feet with tunnel networks extending throughout the DC metro area. Drilling had encountered pre-existing underground structures not shown on any surveys. Vast chambers with architectural features suggesting human construction. Colonel Rebecca Walsh briefed Harrison on Deep Dig's actual purpose: investigating underground phenomena threatening national security. Decade-long seismic monitoring had revealed underground structures predating known human construction, containing sophisticated technological systems operating without power sources. These systems processed unknown materials while generating electromagnetic signatures, interfering with Pentagon communications. Video surveillance captured individuals moving through chambers without protective equipment, despite lethal atmospheric conditions. Harrison's survey revealed temperatures consistently exceeding 150 degrees despite no geothermal activity, plus atmospheric gases from industrial processes using elements not matching known human technology. Continuous electromagnetic radiation operated at frequencies interfering with military communications and biological nervous systems. The underground chambers were actively expanding through unknown processes. Daily surveys showed tunnel networks growing by precisely calculated amounts and directions, suggesting deliberate expansion. Sounds included massive-scale industrial machinery, organized human voices, and systematic screaming. Recordings captured conversations about production quotas, processing efficiency, and resource allocation, describing humans as raw materials for unknown applications. Visual inspection revealed sophisticated industrial operations using beyond current human technology, processing human remains into unknown materials while producing unidentifiable finished products. Deep Dig personnel working in deepest areas showed physical and psychological transformation. Increased temperature resistance, reduced need for food and sleep, and behavioral changes suggesting external control. Colonel Walsh explained Deep Dig had become containment rather than construction. Our excavation breached their perimeter. We're establishing security protocols before they expand into surface-threatening areas. Security footage showed underground entities resembling modified humans working continuously without rest in lethal atmospheric conditions, showing no pain response. Harrison realized Deep Dig had encountered an active facility processing human captives, while expanding upward toward surface installations. Military personnel were systematically converted into workers through physical modifications, allowing operation in extreme conditions, maintaining technical knowledge while losing independent will. Personnel who witnessed underground operations cannot return to normal duties, Walsh informed Harrison. Security implications require elimination of the threat or joining their operations. Harrison was declared missing following a security incident. Operation Deep Dig continues under enhanced classification with personnel rotations, preventing complete understanding of facility purpose. Pentagon communications reference quota agreements and personnel exchange protocols, suggesting ongoing cooperation with underground entities. Washington, D.C. experiences unusually high missing person cases involving individuals with technical skills or security clearances, suggesting targeted recruitment. Underground thermal imaging reveals massive industrial operations beneath government buildings and precise geometric manufacturing patterns. These 5 underground locations reveal that hell isn't a metaphor. It's an active, expanding industrial operation, viewing humans as raw materials for processing. Each facility demonstrates increasing sophistication, from simple punishment centers to vast manufacturing complexes, modifying human workers for improved efficiency. Hell isn't below us, it's beneath us, growing stronger every day, counting souls like inventory and processing the damned like any other natural resource. And the deeper we dig, the closer we come to punching our time cards for the most permanent employment humanity has ever discovered. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this dark journey, hit the like button and subscribe. New horror documentaries every night here on TrumbleDreams.